So tonight we're doing one of our original episodes, like our usual topical episodes. And we've decided to talk about something that we've been arguing about recently.
Yep.
Storylines. How many are there? According to some, there's only 7 that you can actually do in a book. To others, was it 36?
Well, 36 themes.
Which is what I heard. I had a professor at one time in college say that there was only 36 themes or storylines that you could actually have in the world. There was actually like only 36 in the world, and that, so everybody like worked around them. So we're going to talk about how you make those unique and original. But we're also going to talk about how I'm a little mad at my sister. About her being naggy. So anyways, I guess I'll start off with my most recent issue. So I came up with this new idea for a book, and it involves dragons and women. Dragons and women having a connection. And Sheila decides to right away say, well, it better not be about mothers because Game of Thrones has, some sort of blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, FYI, never watched Game of Thrones, never read it. So I can't, don't connect it.
I'm just trying to protect you.
Yeah, but I can't change everything just because somebody has some. So anyways, because of this, I went up and looked on Wikipedia to find out what really is the whole deal with Game of Thrones and dragons. And what I read was like, so this, what's her name? Daenerys. Sorry if I'm offending anyone who's a lover of the show. Daenerys.
I don't remember. I haven't watched
Anyways, what's her face? Apparently, finds 3 dragon eggs and raises them, and they think that she's their mother, blah, blah, blah. So my book has nothing to do with that. FYI. So, anyways, my story was so cool, and then she kind of shot it down. So then
I didn't shoot it down.
There was
All
something
I was saying is to be careful with your characterization and don't call anything the mother of dragons.
FYI, she's only a mother of 3. And I have never watched it, so I would never be copying anybody. It's my own shit. So anyways, so then I said, okay, there's going to be these 4 kings. They have some sort of connection to lions. And she was like, oh, no, wait. They have that in the Game of Thrones, blah, blah, blah. And so, okay, this is where things need to come to an end. We can't look at some little connection here and then say, oh my God, they copied it. I've never watched the show. I've never read the books. And that, which is kind of shameful because I'm not a fantasy author, but I have no desire. So anyways, then, so an earlier episode of this whole thing with her and me, which is just driving me a little crazy, is I wrote this book called The Reaper's Daughter. And when I first initially wrote it, there was a Wiccan in it who owned a shop, and her name was Joss, okay? So in The Reaper's Daughter, Blake, my main character, later on, goes to a cemetery because she is a Grim Reaper, and she reaps souls. And she decided to equate it back to Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which, okay, is my favorite all-time show of all time. So she thought, maybe I was I'm calling it out to Joss with, the name of the Wiccan who's a female. To Joss Whedon. And then, or that, she hangs out in a cemetery. She must be just like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I think the connections are thin, and
I'm just saying there's some underlying themes.
At best, you're reaching. I'm sorry, but, you can't just take any little thing. Oh, she hangs out in a cemetery. It's exactly like Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
It's not just that. It was that she hangs out in a cemetery at night. She reaps souls.
It wasn't night. It actually wasn't night.
Well, whatever. It's a graveyard.
FYI.
It's a graveyard. What difference does it make?
FYI.
There's a magic shop that she frequents, or she frequented in the beginning.
She went once because her friend liked it.
With her alternative friend who was...
She wasn't frequenting.
Kind of voodoo-dooey.
Which I did as a kid. I was a teenager who thought I was a Wiccan. We used to go to magic shop in Geneseo.
Didn't she have red hair?
Geneseo, New York. What?
Didn't one of the characters have,
no.
flaming red hair?
No.
Didn't the girl at, the witch's shop have red hair?
No, it was dyed red hair. It had nothing to do with
It doesn't
Willow.
matter. She still had red hair.
See,
she red hair.
See, but this is
she's
the
working
thing.
in a witch's shop.
You
got a teenager hanging out in the graveyard.
Do you know why you
A
connected
little
it?
Buffy going on there.
No, you connected it because you know I love this show.
That doesn't mean that subconsciously somewhere in there that there's not
there was nothing
influences.
there. Because first of all, her hair was dyed. She wasn't a dork. She was
Doesn't
cool
matter.
and she was fashionable.
It doesn't matter that it was dyed. Red is red, darling.
She also
Red
changes
is
it to
red.
black and she changes it to purple throughout the duration of
This is a shop owner. Nobody knows anything about her.
No, the shop owner had black hair.
I thought she had red.
No, she had black hair. You are totally confused. First of all, you don't even know my book. Maybe you should go back and read it.
Why don't you read the
It
sequel?
was her friend who dyes her hair. Shelby, her best friend.
Yeah, I know she
dyes
it
her.
multiple
That's
colors.
whose hair is
But
red at one point.
Are you sure the shopkeeper's hair was black?
I'm pretty sure I wrote the book. I'm pretty sure I wrote the book.
We'll reflect on this later.
Oh my goodness. Can you see how much I want to kill her? So anyways, let's talk about how there's so many storylines in the world and how they can be different. Tell me. Why don't you talk? Something that can be different.
Neil
everything's the
Gaiman
same.
can be different.
Everything's the same.
Okay, here's the thing. Neil Gaiman is obviously very popular. And I think he's popular for a reason, because his stories are all very original. He takes
gods and he makes them his own.
He makes them his own.
Right.
Love stories become his
But
own.
he's taking something that already existed and
Yes.
he's making them his own.
But he's making them so unique that there's no other replica that I've ever found. Or at least I haven't. So I think as far as authors go, I respect Neil Gaiman the most because I've never found somebody who comes close to him.
So that's another thing, like fairy tale retellings. Like, I felt like we talked about Marissa Meyer before. I thought she did a really good job of retelling the Cinderella story.
Yeah, she did.
All of the stories, actually, if you read the whole series.
Juliet Mariller does a really good job of retelling the Swan Lake story.
You better say I retell the stories good in my Fractured Dream book.
My sister also retells the stories very well in the Fractured Dream book.
Do I?
Yes, of course you do.
Then you have to save something positive right now.
I really like it.
No, you have to say something good about it.
I love the beginning with the water and the sandine.
But that's not freaking the fairy tales. Tell how I told her we fairy tale. It was good.
Oh, okay. The vampires. Some fairy tales turn out to be vampires, and I thought it was a really interesting twist.
Everybody loves those ones. Yeah. All right, go on.
Ego trip. Much.
Well, you were bashing
I
Reaper's
wasn't
daughter.
bashing it. I was just saying I saw some similarities.
Whatevs. Okay, go on. Oh. No, go on. Any other books you can think of? What other ones did I... I'm trying to think of other ones I like to read. Oh! Guy Gabrielle Kay's Fenora Tapestry, which is it's like 3 of my favorite. I love those books.
Right, but I don't remember them being a retelling.
Sure there is. There's total symbolism and stuff. I mean, I think Guinevere's in them.
Oh, is it?
It's been a long time
15
for
years
me, but
since I read the book.
there's a lot of stuff going on in those, and it's like King Arthur kind of legend stuff.
Well, I like books that twist. So, like, Marion Zimmer Bradley, when she twisted Morgana's character so she wasn't really
Miss
evil.
of Avalon.
Yeah, she was an interesting Morgana who I respected and honestly made me love Morgana and hate Guinevere. Oh my god, I hate Guinevere now.
If you read Fractured Dream, you'll like Guinevere. She's quite cool.
Ego trip. But yeah, I mean, I like stories that take an element from the traditional and twist it.
I do too.
And make it different.
Gregory Maguire's Wicked, I've read. Love the musical. I read the book a long time ago, and I really liked it then. I like the twist. I do. I love the twist.
I appreciated the originality, and I thought Elphaba was a very interesting character. However, it became a bathroom book. It took me 6 months to read.
It didn't for me
because it was a bathroom
when I
book.
first read it, but I
I still liked it.
Slow.
It was
It's a little
interesting.
slow.
but it wasn't really compelling.
But I do love the idea of her going to school and having a sister that's just like kind of a jerk and becoming friends with the
I did. I like
the good
it was a
fairy.
good
And,
twist. It was a good twist.
yeah, it was good. It was good. And with her sharp teeth, she could gnaw through wood.
Yep, very original story.
Yeah.
It was much better than the original, in my opinion, the Wizard of Oz books. They were so boring. But I had a hard time getting through Wicked myself. I did finish it, but I had a hard time, even though I respect its originality and characterization.
Yeah. What are some other books can we think of? What other ones? Twisted. Well, you used old storylines.
Oh, I thought that you were saying that was a book.
I mean, what do we got? Nothing back here, except for some.
Well, I mean, even not just Twisted, but if you think of books like they draw parallelisms between Star Wars and Harry Potter, there's the Orphaned Beam that gets replayed over and over and over again.
Okay, let's go through at least 7 of the themes. So, we're not going to go through 36 of them, but here's the 7 basics. Overcoming monsters, rags to riches, the quest, voyage return, comedy, tragedy, rebirth. Did I say 7? Let's do 8.
But
Girl meets boy.
Well, that's according to some guy on Wikipedia.
Well, no, it's according to quite a few people, and then there's other people that say there's 36. So there's debates about how many storylines actually exist. But the truth is that there's only so many basic storylines you can do. What we do is we create new things around them.
Mm-hmm.
So my dragons are different than what I think George R.R. Martin did.
I believe you. I believe in your story, and that they will be different.
Thank you.
And there won't be anything that I can pull out of that makes me think that it might be
Especially
similar.
since I've never read them. We have dogs.
We have, yeah.
Wookie. His name is Wookie. Do you want to see him? Let's pull Wookie up. He's ultimately cute. Even though he's annoying. He's dirty. He was at the lake this weekend. Hi. My name is Wookie. Can you say hi? You just want to baby.
He just wants to dig.
You just want to dig. You just want to dig. Yes, you do. You want to take my floor out? You want to take my floor out? Do you like books? No? Alright, you gotta go. More. Tell me what else. Tell me some books that you think have stolen storylines. Oh my god, let's talk about it.
Okay, I can give you a perfect one right now. I haven't done a review on this book right now, but I'm planning to. Now, it was well written, and as an author, she's good. But I read, I think it was called Bloodcraft, or Blood Spell, recently, and it was a story that was about a witch and or a girl that comes into her witch powers, and she falls in love with a vampire. And I'm sorry, but there was a lot of stolen elements from Twilight, Twilight in there. And I really wanted to look at it as an individual book.
What's the book called?
I think it was Blood Spell.
Yeah.
I couldn't stop drawing parallelisms between that book and Twilight.
Well, see, I think the problem is that everybody saw how well Twilight did, and they wanted to be the next Twilight.
And I think this one did it. And she's a really good author. You know, she writes really well. Unfortunately, I had a hard time getting beyond the parallelisms. The only unique twist, really, was the fact that she was a witch. That was it.
Yeah. What have I read recently that kind of had oh, no. Okay, so one, I'm going to talk about 2 mainstream writers that I think are kind of alike. So, I'm a huge fan of Alice Hoffman. She's one of my favorite writers. And she wrote Practical Magic, as everybody probably knows, which was made into a major motion picture back in like the 90s with Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock. So then along comes Sarah Addison Allen, who I think is a very talented writer, but she wrote this story called Garden Spells, and I think it was very similar. They're both magical realism genres about two sisters who kind of are witches, and I always felt like they were very similar. I don't think she stole from her. I just felt like they were very similar, and that you know what I mean? Like, you can't.
That's how I felt about Bloodspell.
I mean, Sarah Addison Allen's story stands on itself. Like, you know, there's an apple tree that kind of takes a big place in the story, and I don't know, they're different.
There's the blood in this book where he's drawn to her blood. It's like a special blood.
Yeah.
You know, it was
well, that's a similarity. The apple tree is a difference in the story that I read, but I think that ultimately there's always going to be little parallels you can draw between one story to the next.
But
sometimes
you can do a little too many.
Sometimes there's too many. Sometimes there's too many.
To be
like the one you're talking about.
Well, to be perfectly honest, when I read Twilight, and I loved the Twilight series. I loved Stephanie Meyer. I think she's a really talented author. But I'm sorry, when I was reading it, I drew a lot of parallelisms with that and L.J. Smith, and I thought
so did I.
She must have read L.J. Smith growing up.
But nobody knew who L.J. Smith was.
Until Stephanie Meyer came into play, and suddenly everybody knew about L.J. Smith. Because
we're such L.J. Smith promoters. Do you realize that? We talk about her almost every episode.
I know, we do.
It's kind of ridiculous.
She's a really good YA writer.
She is. She needs to start writing again.
She's a disappointment in that way, but we forgive her. She's having a hard time in life. They did steal her books, and we feel really bad about that. So if you want to read her, go read her from her website, not from any other place.
Anyways, Vampire Diaries 1 through 4. Never read past the first 4. Are awesome.
Yeah. Screw the show.
Yeah, not the show.
Don't do the
Although
show.
I love the originals. It's my show.
Yeah, but she never wrote that.
Oh no, she didn't. But it's based on her original.
Her
writing.
world.
Yes. Well, I can separate it. I can separate it enough because she never wrote about it, so I can read it. Although I'm really mad because they're not airing it again to 2017. I hate when the networks do that. I think it's wrong. People lose interest after that amount of time.
I'm still mad that they canceled Secret Circle, which is another one of her series that really should have continued.
Even though it was nothing like the books, we still liked it. We did like that.
We did, because it was completely different enough to be fine.
What was the actress's name in it?
I don't remember. She was a cute little blonde, though.
You know, she was in Tomorrowland with George Clooney.
Never saw it.
That was really good. Anyways, we kind of got off track. But as you can see, there's only so many storylines in the world, but they can all be made unique. Like, I want to say Marissa Meyer, who awesomely retold stories of Cinderella, Little Red Riding Hood, Rapunzel, and Snow White. She did such an awesome job with those. I love her. You can only take so many storylines and make them different.
Yeah.
So fantasy writers can have dragons in their books and not have it be just like somebody else's dragons.
I'm not saying you can't have dragons. I'm just saying be careful how
somebody can be a vampire. I lost her screen. Somebody can be a vampire and maybe sparkle in another. I don't think that's ever going to happen again.
And be drawn to somebody's blood.
They can be drawn to somebody's blood and not have it be like
Special
Stephanie
blood.
Meyer because maybe it was because there's a lot of people trying to be like Stephanie Meyer.
But you know what? They did that with Lord of the Rings too, and there's still a lot of good books out there that are very resembling of Lord of the Rings. So
what? Lord of the Rings and vampires?
Whatever.
What?
Just take it as a compliment, I guess, if a book resembles yours in some fashion.
It can be flattering, although that's supposed to be fan fiction.
Well, technically, I think this was kind of fan fiction-y, but
like
that'll be
50 Shades of Grey was supposed to be a fan fiction of Twilight, right?
But I even think that's more. Yes, the only thing I think that's fan fiction-y about that though is the fact that the boyfriend is controlling, and the girl is totally into it.
Yeah, it really was never. I never really understood how those two books were equated to each other.
Other than that, I don't really see it myself. So, she took She took something that she
Although I never read 50 Shades of Grey.
I did. So, I think fan fiction, the characters are somewhat resemble Bella and Edward, but beyond that, I don't see much similarity.
I was trying not to look like an alcoholic in this one, but I love my wine.
Cheers. We're gonna drink it now.
Anyways, we're the Quirky Book Sirens, and we're out. Except for the fact that next episode we're going to have Jamie Bettifield on our show.
Yay! You've seen her before.
Oh, not the next episode, but the episode after that. Anyways, we're going to talk about bitches.
At some point.
We're going to, yeah. Well, yeah.
She'll be back.
We have actually, the next episode we're going to talk about, you and I are going to do a At the Shelf episode of Beautiful Disaster by, what's her name? The author, do you remember?
Jamie McGuire, I think?
Yes, it's Jamie McGuire. We're going to do A Beautiful Disaster by Jamie McGuire because she read it. She was like in love with it. I read it. I couldn't stop reading it, but I also have my little things.
I'm not saying I don't have problems with it, but I still loved it.
Anyways, we're going to have a little differing opinions, which will be cool, that we have something different to say from each other. And then the episode after that, we're going to have Jamie on, and we're going to talk about Bitches of Ever After by Barbara Annan. Anyways,
I haven't read it yet.
We haven't read it yet, but we're going to. And then after that, we have like 2 more authors lined up to do some other shows. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. We have lots of stuff going on, lots of books to talk about, lots of topics to talk about. I think that we're going to talk about young adult and why
The stigma of YA.
Adults should not feel bad about reading young adult.
And I think that's our time to sign off.